Ich habe versucht, drüber zu springen. Ah. Okay. Wir machen ein neues Spiel. Ich habe es noch nicht angezockt. Und ich bin gespannt. Oh.
Oh, the physical sensation. Pain? I'm alive?
Oh mein
odd.
Gott!
I don't feel alive. What's going on? I have no memories of anything before this point in time. My mind is tabula rasa. Yet, I have a language. I seem to be in some laboratory of sorts. Maybe I can find out what happened if I look around.
Oh mein Gott, wie cool! Oh, das ist ja mal mega nice hergerichtet oder gemacht. Okay. Puh, oh Gott, eine eiserne Jungfrau. Wir sind sowas wie nennt sich das, Dinge.
You look so lonely, my friend.
Oh.
I'll call you Eva.
Eva!
The torture device turned into a strange machine. What kind of place is this?
Anatomisch komisch, aber gut, sie ist eine Puppe, ne? Eine Streckbank, nehme ich an?
My very first memory is waking up on this thing. Before that, nothing. I wonder what I am. My very first memory is waking up on this thing. Before that, nothing.
Ich kann das nicht komplett skippen, das ist schade. Wow, die Maus springt so komisch. Warte mal. Ich ziehe mir das mal ganz kurz ein bisschen mehr zu mir. Okay.
Books. A lot of natural philosophy and
Ich mag ihre Stimme sehr gerne.
Something by an MW.
Warum triggern die dich, Grimmel? Ich weiß auch nicht, Deno. Ich weiß doch auch nicht. Andere fallen als Kind in Bäche. Ich legte mich als Kind nur gern mit der Fresse voran auf den Asphalt und drin gegen Tischkanten. Same, Chris, same. Ich habe super vernarbte Knie, weil ich als Kind zu viel gerannt bin und immer auf die Fresse geflogen bin.
Now is not the time.
Okay. Journal
There's a
page.
handwritten note here. Maybe it can shed some light on my situation.
Oh Gott. Wolfram von Trauerschloss. Alles klar. It is with shaking hands and heavy heartbeats I gather before me the instrument of my last desperate attempt. I find myself on the threshold of my toils, a turning point. For should I fail tonight, I doubt I shall find the strength and resolve to continue. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob ich es vorlesen darf, aber anscheinend darf ich. Okay. Weil es halt bisher so vertont ist, Entschuldigung. Na gut. Kamen die nicht? Krimmel echt nicht? Okay, Chris, okay, du bist ein Held. Hallo, Bär. Guten Abend. Ich habe nichts in den Haaren, ich habe Farbe in den Haaren. Kio. Oh, Scheibenkleister. Okay. At my feet now lays the lifeless remains of my beautiful Belladonna. A few hours ago my wife was alive and well, and now she has been cut open, dissected, altered, and artificially reconstructed. From the second she gave up her final breath, I have worked tirelessly to preserve and prepare for her coppers, that I might infuse the spark of being back into her lifeless limbs. Oh God, oh my God, okay. This is the final test of all my research and experimentation the past 5 years. The complete revivification. Was ein Wort. Revivification of a human being, body and soul. The anxiety I feel is agonizing. Oh Gott, ich stolper hier die ganze Zeit über Worte, das gibt es nie. Es gibt es nicht, es tut mir leid. But I cannot let it hinder me from carrying out what I must do, for my own sake and for hers. This procedure must not fail. In my feverish dreams, my wife appears as such a lovely creature so far, removed from her creation before me. Her cheeks, once full of laughter, are now pale, almost to the point of transparency, with her skin stretched so thin over the cranium it threatens to rip at any moment. Her eyes would shine like the night sky, but are now empty, watery, and yellowish. I ever cling to my conviction that she will regain her former grace and vitality once she is brought back to the realm of the living. Her eyes will light up with the flame of life, a Promethean flame stolen from her very gods. From this night on, a man shall be the master of his own destiny, and God shall no longer be above us. As I write, in the engines of life are finally heating up, the last of the preparations coming into order. The crucial moment is approaching. The time has come. Success! The attempt was a success! She is alive! Okay. Ah! Die Maus springt! Sagt sie was dazu? Sie sagt nichts dazu. Okay.
There's a screwdriver in this toolbox. Better take it.
Also, seine Frau ist wohl todkrank und fast gestorben, und ist sie seine Frau? Das frage ich mich gerade. Oder ist sie nur der Versuch, bevor seine Frau wieder zum Leben gebracht wird? Da steht gerade Brain in a Jar.
It's a brain in a jar. I wonder what it's thinking.
Eiserne Jungfrauen haben nie existiert, die kamen auf, als es in war, das Mittelalter als dunkles Zeitalter darzustellen, irgendwann um 1800 rum erfunden. Echt? Ach krass, wieder was gelernt. Was ist normal? Wie, was, wo? Hä? Moment, jetzt muss ich ganz kurz gucken. Ja, Deno. Aber man hat ja, das ist ja das Lustige, das finde ich ja auch super cool, man hat, in einer anderen Sprache eine andere Persönlichkeit. Das finde ich super nice. Plus, man muss ja nicht bedenken, ich habe ja nochmal eine andere Vorlesestimme. So, also auch im Deutschen habe ich ja nochmal eine tiefere Vorlesestimme, weil das halt meine normale Stimme ist quasi. Ach, ich habe keine Ahnung, das ist ein bisschen schwierig. LOL hat einen neuen Champ? Okay. Ein aggressiver Brite. Oh, sehr gut. Okay, jetzt haben wir die
A human
1K.
skull or a paperweight.
Paperweight.
I'll call it Uric.
Yorick!
A human skull or a...
Okay. Oh Gott, ihr seht, wie die Maus gerade hin und her hüpft, ne?
It looks like the legs of a frog hooked up with wires. And I'm pretty sure it moves when I'm not watching. I love magnets.
Aber dafür, dass sie sich an nichts erinnert, weiß sie aber sehr, sehr viel, ne? Also, haben wir hier noch was drin?
The toolbox is empty.
Okay, ne, wir haben alles andere. Dass die Maus so hüpft, macht mich gerade etwas kirre.
I have no idea what's inside of this, but it glows. I can't tell if my reflection in the glass is too distorted or if I really look like this. Am I even a human being?
Ja, du bist ein Human Being, mehr oder
It
weniger.
never moves when I look at it, but I shall name thee Twitchy the Frog.
Twitchy! Twitch und Yorick, alles klar. Keine weiteren Fragen an der Stelle. Kommen wir hier raus. Nein, Girl, da ist der Ausgang.
The door won't budge. It seems to be barred from the other side. I might be able to unscrew these hinges, though. The door won't budge. It seems to be barred from the other side.
Okay.
I might be able to unscrew these hinges, though.
Das Spiel hat jetzt schon einige Probleme, sag ich mal. Also das mit der springenden Maus, das macht es vielleicht.
Interesting, but no.
Könnte es eventuell unspielbar machen. Wir gucken mal.
The screws on these hinges are rusty and stuck. I need some lubricant to loosen them up. With such a multitude of jars and bottles, at least one must have some sort of oil in it.
Okay. Suchen also nach einem Öl. Da. Vial of oil.
This oil looks expensive. Let's waste it.
Geil. Hey, das sieht teuer aus. Lass es uns verschwenden.
I smeared some oil on the rusty screws. That should loosen them up.
Okay. Und dann nehmen wir unseren Screwdriver und versuchen rauszukommen. Wuhu! Und die Tür ist einfach umgekippt. Und hier liegt eine Note. Gibt's ihm auch einen Namen? Oh.
Maybe he's secretly a poet. I bet his name is Roland.
Roland! Wie sie einfach allen Gegenständen oder irgendwas Namen gibt.
Hello, Roland. Hello, Roland.
Oh, das ist süß. Das ist sehr, sehr süß. Okay. Journal page.
Another piece of paper. This was written long before the last one.
Wann wurde das geschrieben? Hier steht leider kein Datum. Ja, es spielt definitiv interesting. Auch wenn das jetzt... Aber hier ist die Maus okay. Nee, die springt hier auch. Ist das an mir? Aber das Problem hatte ich gerade die ganze Zeit nicht. Wäre sehr komisch, wenn es an mir liegen würde. Also an meiner Maus. Nun, keine Ahnung. Aber die Sensitivität... Ja, das könnte sein. Nope. Ich habe die Sensitivität... Nope. Selbst wenn es so langsam ist. Ihr seht es ja. Springen die Zeiger. Ich muss die Sensitivität wieder hochstellen. Das gibt gar nicht. Der Name erinnert mich an Edna bricht aus. Oh. Work is going great. Kept the rat alive for 1 hour and 26 minutes last night. We'll move on to a larger mammals within the week. I find my life more and more polarized into two phases. I remember times when I used to climb up and down the stairs like a squirrel each day, but now I spend most of my time, and indeed most of my thoughts, down here in my laboratory, only to step upstairs at night to sleep. It is warmer upstairs in the living area, but it is boring and understimulating. Down here is where I make progress. Down here is what matters, and as I lay awake beside my sleeping wife, I often wish I was down here with my experiments. Okay. Belladonna grows increasingly distant, ever since that fateful night when our baby Lucas, oh nein, gave up his last breath. She has lost all traces of her old self. God knows what she is thinking about as she silently gazes into the empty air of her restless paces back and forth in the great hall. I, at least, am working with my grief. I have turned my attention to the signs of life and death, and not a day goes by when I do not think of how my son was untimely taken from me. This is the thought that drives me in this, the greatest of my ambitions. My own son will never return. I have accepted that now, but thanks to me and my work, the cold, ruthless contrast between living and dead will in the future be much softer, maybe even completely erased. My wife, though, has let our grief devour her whole. She is emotionally and intellectually paralyzed, it seems to me. All her creativity and quickness of thought, the witness of her speech and the nimble way she used to jump from one conclusion to the next, all those qualities that made me fall in love with her in the first place, they have all been snuffed out, like the flame of a candle. This makes me wonder even more why I bother to go up to her bed every night. The shell in which she has enclosed herself cannot be breached by anything I say or do. It is almost as though she is involved with someone other than me. I feel ridiculous for even writing it down. No. It seems ludicrous to think that Belladonna's disinterest in me is due to her seeing another man. I will not accuse her of that. It is just one of the many strange ideas that seem to appear in my head when I am down here by myself. I'm probably just tired. I better try to get some sleep as soon as the rat's heart stops beating. Ai, 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 ai. Ich glaube, es macht einen Menschen auch irgendwie total. Also, die Frau hat ja wohl ihren Sohn verloren, also sie haben ihren Sohn verloren. Und ein Verlust macht einen Menschen ja auch fertig irgendwie. Und ich glaube, es ist eher das, als dass sie sich für einen anderen Kerl interessiert, you know.
It looks like someone has been sleeping quite a lot in this sorry excuse for a bed, and it was hardly the suit of armor. But why would someone choose to sleep down here?
Naja, weil er es nicht ertragen hat, oben zu schlafen.
It looks like someone has been sleeping quite a lot in this sorry excuse for a bed.
Dann, da liegt noch was.
More writings from the lonely doctor.
Der ist echt lonely. Curse my miserable existence, the hopelessness from which I see no conceivable escape. I cannot rid myself of feeling that there is something of utmost importance that I need to take care of, but that it is not yet time, that something beyond my control needs to complete it first. I carry inside me a sensation of waiting, yet I cannot name the thing I am waiting for. In the meantime, all I can do is work. I do make progress, but at an excruciating, ich kann das Wort nicht aussprechen, verdammt. Excruciatingly slow rate. And nothing I can, holy shit, einmal drüber gestolpert und jetzt bin ich raus. And nothing I accomplished seems to calm the anxiety in my heart. I sleep only a few hours every night and cannot remember my last hot meal. I am feverish and jumped at the smallest of sounds. What is it that I'm missing? Ist das gut, Chris? Ich weiß nicht. Hallo, Maurice. Ist doch kein Problem. Wie geht's dir? Schön, dich zu sehen. Und Anton, hallo, hallo. Guten Abend. Alles gut? Excruciating. Okay, danke schön, Chris. Willkommen zurück, Alex. What is it that I'm missing? I'm spending more and more time down here with my research. I only occasionally go upstairs to sleep in the master bedroom. Most nights I sleep, if at all, in my makeshift bunk I have constructed in the cellar. It is not as comfortable, but my research is at a point where I oftentimes requires my constant attention, and comfort is not my priority. I'm certain I'm advancing ever closer to a significant breakthrough, but it is as though I am powerless to control or even affect the rate of its occurrence. Oh, da hat sich echt so lange damit beschäftigt, tote Sachen wieder zum Leben zu erwecken oder überhaupt zum Leben erwecken und am Leben zu halten. Das ist irgendwie echt krank. And on top of this, I cannot rid my mind of the idea that Belladonna has forgotten me in taking a new lover. Belladonna, seine Frau. A man in her life, someone more lovely than me, perhaps. Someone who can still look at her life with joy and optimism, to match her own by grave tragedy, unaffected humor. Yet who would that be? I can remember friends we used to have. My memory of our wedding was a crowded and festive event, but it has been years since this castle has seen any visitors. I have no time for social obligations, and Belladonna seems to have given up on everything that is pleasant in life. I suspect the castle is an undesirable condition as well. Almost all of the staff has left us. We are down to one girl, who dusts the cupboard and lights the fireplaces. But I don't see much of her either in these days. For all I know, she might be gone as well. There cannot possibly be a man in Belladonna's life apart from me. Doch, ein Rätsel. Wir haben schon die Tür aufgemacht. Ja, ja. Wow. Tschüssi, Nebel. Danke, dass du reingeschaut hast. Eieiei, die sind beide absolut crazy gegangen, weil sie keine sozialen Kontakte hatten. Sind wir doch mal ehrlich. Es macht übrigens keinen Spaß, das Spiel zu spielen, wenn die Maus die ganze Zeit so rumzickt.
Another locked door.
Hä?
Let's take a peek through.
Oh, da ist ein Key.
It's the key I'm after. I can't reach it with my hands. I wonder what I can invent to retrieve it.
Guck mal.
This is brilliant, but how will I get the magnet out there and then back again? I need longer arms. I wonder if I can get a refund on this stitched together body of mine.
Oh, wie süß. Ich mag ihren Humor. Kann ich die Sachen verbinden? Nein, kann ich nicht. Okay, dann back. Oh, ich glaube übrigens echt, ich kann das Spiel nicht lange spielen, weil die Maus triggert mich. Ihr seht es, wie die ganze Zeit hin und her springt. Es ist nicht die Maus. Also eigentlich habe ich keine Probleme mit der Maus. Sie macht... Ah, da ein Stick.
There's a long stick here. Perhaps it was used to try to chase away rats.
Dabei möchte ich das Spiel wirklich sehr gerne spielen, aber das macht halt so keinen Spaß.
I can attach the magnet to the end of this stick.
Okay, dann gehen wir mal wieder hoch. Ich glaube nicht, dass das helfen wird, Human. Das Spiel hat ja noch nicht mal Einstellungen. Das ist halt der Witz an der Sache. Oder das Traurige an der Sache vielleicht.
Let's hope this works.
Hä?
Aha.
Ah.
Just as planned.
Können wir den jetzt nehmen?
I got the basement key.
Ja, dann. Es liegt aber auch nicht an meiner Maus, weil, ne? Da hätte ich ja normalerweise Probleme und ich hatte heute den ganzen Tag keine Probleme. Nennt nicht das Bett. Basement Key mit Exit. Was? Bitte was, Alex? Ich bin verwirrt. Ich könnte halt, warte mal. I had to open the config in the game folder and set full screen to no, not the best solution, but it worked. Im Ernstspiel? Das wäre fürchterlich.
This is the nail from which I skillfully lifted the basement key. This is the nail from which I skillfully More letters. Has he figured it out yet?
I see now that my suspicions have been well grounded, albeit aimed in the wrong direction. Belladonna is not seeing another man. She is seeing a woman. Or was? Ooh. I'm convinced that it must be that maid, Claire, or whatever her name might be. She and Belladonna are up to something, I'm sure of it. And to think of all the hours I'm stuck down here, caught up in my dreadful work, leaving them free to roam and left to their own devices upstairs. Of course they have found each other. Only living things in this whole castle besides me and my week-long rabbit. They have it all figured out. When I come up at night, they act all innocent, keeping their mutual secrets from me as a playful game. But as soon as I descend into the laboratory, they are in each other's arms again. But what can I do? The progression of events are beyond my control. Just like my work, I slave away my ghoulish endeavor, I don't know wie es ausgesprochen wird, sorry. Making progress every hour, but never getting anywhere. And simultaneously, Belladonna is slipping away from me, further and further for every night. And yet nothing ever changed. Should I confront them? Storm up there, hoping to catch the two in the act? Take back the life that was mine? The wife that was mine? No. I have no reason for my silly suspicions. No evidence whatsoever. Merely a thought stuck in my brain, refusing to leave. So I remain passive, as always, and each new day is one more where I am unable to make an action, unable to change my wretched situation. Okay. Dann machen wir das mal ganz kurz so. Ich werde das Spiel mal ganz kurz... Also eigentlich ist es ein Point-and-Click-Game, Anton. Ich würde es gerade mal ganz gerne beenden und dann gehe ich mal ganz kurz in die Game-Files von dem Spiel. Und zwar die Config. Fullscreen, no. Man kann das Spiel auch auf Deutsch umstellen. That's quite interesting. Versuchen wir es mal. Wie das Ganze jetzt so funktioniert. Okay. Deutsch ist ja widerlich. Wer spricht denn sowas? Ja, wer spricht denn sowas? Oh Mann. Nun. Okay, ich muss das Spiel nochmal ganz kurz beenden. Das funktioniert nämlich so schon mal nicht. So, dann gucken wir mal. Es ist auf jeden Fall nicht schön, das so zu machen. Das ist keine schöne Lösung. Bin ich ganz ehrlich, aber wir gucken mal. Und Fun Fact an der Stelle. Ich muss auf... Kann ich das einfach so... Nee, kann ich natürlich nicht. Okay, doch. Okay.
What a strange door. No handle or keyhole. It seems to have some sort of opening mechanism. Oh, I know. It's a secret entrance hidden behind a bookshelf. Only I'm on the other side of it and see only the back of the shelf.
Aber... Die Maus springt gerade nicht. Das ist schon mal etwas.
What a strange door. No handle.
Okay. Jetzt haben wir mal
Nothing
gucken.
happens.
Okay. Square Socket, Triangle Socket, Rectangle Socket. Ach, wir haben hier...
A couple of cogwheels on the floor.
Dankeschön, Alex. Auch wenn es echt nicht schön ist, es so zu spielen. Okay. Ja gut, das ist ja jetzt nicht... Nein, Girl. Das ist ja jetzt nicht so schwer, möchte ich meinen. So. Gut, das... Profi! Absoluter Profi! Candlestick.
A big and heavy candlestick. It looks like there used to be two of them.
Nehmen wir den mit?
A big and heavy candlestick.
Nein? Okay.
It's a mortar. And a pestle, too. They seem to belong here, but I'll remember where they are in case I need them another time. It's a mortar. They seem to...
Achso, wir brauchen die jetzt gar nicht. Oh, noch eine Journal-Page. Ich hoffe, wir kriegen... Ich krieg die...
He's just scribbling down nonsense by now.
Die ist süß irgendwie. I see now that my suspicions have been well grounded. Oh wait, aimed in the wrong direction. Nee, Moment, das haben wir doch schon. Okay. It is clear to me what I must do. I am now convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that my life is unfaithful. I don't wanna do this anymore. I wanna be the reason why. Ich habe dieses Lied damals geliebt. Das ist richtig schlimm. I still hide it very well. Her and that housemaid. But my logical mind tells me there is no other explanation. For countless hours I have pondered this situation, and the more I think about it, the more certain I become that my judgment is correct. These countless hours are hours I could have spent thinking about my work. It is clear to me that I will never be able to fully concentrate on the puzzles at hand, as long as my thoughts keep creeping me back to my wife and her new lover. This is the very reason that my research is progressing at such an agonizingly slow pace. So it is clear to me what I must do. Belladonna herself was a person who I want back into my life, so I cannot punish her, but leaves her lover, the young maid. She is unimportant, and it is she that must go. Ja, weißt du, oh. Bezweifelt der Dame ihren Geschmack in Bezug auf Schmuck? Warum denn das, Anton? Wir sind zum Leben erweckt worden, irgendwie. Wir wissen nicht, was wir sind. Wow, Alex. Also wir denken, wir sind eine Maschine, aber wir könnten auch die Frau sein. Also, nicht sicher. Wer kam zurück, Marc? Ich weiß gerade gar nicht. Also wir wissen nur, dass dieser gute Wissenschaftler-Typ absolut crazy ist. Und, weißt du, er will Belladonna zurück und sagt, ich weiß nicht, was er mit Claire jetzt vorhat, ob er sie jetzt umbringen möchte, aber so kriegt man jemanden nicht zurück. Ganz kurzer Spoiler an der Stelle. I could fire her and throw her out of the household, but I fear that would not resolve anything. The two of them would still know of each other, and they could write secret forbidden love letters and meet up at secluded rendezvous. No, oh my god. It is clear to me what I must do. I must get rid of a maid for good. Oh no. A plan is already taking form in my head. In the greenhouse out back, I keep a lot of plants and herbs. One of the specimens I have is called Deadly Nightshade, an interesting plant with many medical uses, but its renown comes from the fact that its extract is lethal already at small doses. Preparing a powder from the poisonous plant is not at all problematic. Getting the victim to ingest the dose will be a challenge, but I expect to have ample opportunity. They are not aware I know the truth and thus suspect nothing. The maid will fall ill, and within a short time she will die of seemingly natural causes. No one will be the wiser concerning the true circumstances of her demise. Deadly Nightshade is merely the common name for this plant. Its scientific name is Atropa belladonna. The symmetry strikes me as beautiful. The poor girl strayed too close to the belladonna, and that would be the death of her. Du kleiner Wichser. Also, keine Ahnung. An der Stelle sei halt gesagt, weißt du, die Frau hat sich verändert und es ist absolut tragisch, wie abwesend sie geworden ist, wie sie all das verloren hat, was sie geliebt hat, weil sie halt ihren Sohn verloren hat. Und so in so eine absolut depressive Phase reingerutscht. Und jetzt will er, weil er sie zurück möchte, jemanden töten, wieder wen töten, jemanden töten, der ihr nahe steht, damit sie wird dann doch wieder absolut depressiv. Oh mein Gott, du bist furchtbar, Junge. Was für Igor?
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss. This must be the ashes of Wolfram's son. The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss.
Okay. Eine Schüssel?
A beautiful china bowl. It looks hand-painted.
Die nehmen wir mit, aber das Mortal und das Dings nehmen wir nicht mit, alles klar. Miss Smile, einen wunderschönen guten Abend, wie geht's dir? Vielleicht sollten wir Igor aus Überswald bestellen. Oh Gott.
The story is so sad. I don't even know if I want to read this one.
Oh Gott. Ich sehe schon den ersten Satz und denke mir nur so, I'm not surprised. My wife took the wayward maid staff harder than I had expected, further confirming my suspicions that they were indeed having a secretive love affair. She is passionate and irrational, raging all day and crying all night. Where a few months ago the cold shroud of silence lay over our house, now there is the wailing shrieks of bedlam. Dieser Vollpfosten. One should think that we would used to be dealing with the grief of lost loved ones by now. However, in all sincerity, I don't believe she was ever as affected by the death of our only son as I was. I also suspect that she might have guessed I had something to do with her lover's demise. If she wouldn't talk to me before, now she yells and barks at me every movement. I hardly leave my laboratory these days. I even have a small bed down here, where I sleep in a few hours when I'm not working. All the while she prowls around upstairs like a hungry tiger and texts me over futile nitpicks as soon as I poke my head out. What happened to the love we shared when we married? Where were we going to live together in her inherited castle? Where were we going to have children together? Now all I get is abuse and a cold bed in the basement. All I want is for things to go back to the way they were before all this. Ja, dann hättest du dich... Oh, du bist ein Vollpfosten. Du hättest dich nicht so damit... Naja, du hättest dich nicht da so einsperren sollen und alles. Du hast Hunger, aber es ist gefühlt nichts da. Oh, verdammter Feiertag. Mir geht's auch ganz gut, danke dir.
The label says Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss. So this is the man who brings the dead back to life. He looks as though he would have been handsome once. It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is.
Hallo Danny, einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Wie geht's dir? Und Marcy, hallo. Yes, I'm blue. Oh. Nun. Marcy, alles gut? Ja.
It's the body of Dr. von Trauerschloss. He's dead. And what's more, he's been murdered. But who could have done this? There must be some clues around. The missing candlestick. And it seems to be the murder weapon. The body is still warm. He cannot have been dead for much longer than I have been alive. Did he have to die for me to live? There's something in his pocket. It's a small, delicate key. He kept it in the pocket closest to his heart. I wonder what it unlocks.
Das werden wir wohl noch herausfinden, denke ich. Und ein Brief.
There's a letter clutched in his hand. His final words.
Es ist sauwarm, also wir können gerne tauschen, Danny. Es ist arschkalt hier. Nicht so betrunken, wie du hofftest. Okay, Marcy, alles klar. Bei mir ist alles gut, soweit. Danke der Nachfrage. Ich weiß auch nicht, Bella. Ein Grund, warum ich nie Menschen zu mir einlade. Meine Wohnung ist, ja, ne? Lifehack, alles so das Bett schieben. Okay. Over the course of a sleepless night, I have thought through my next course of action from every possible angle. For it is indeed time for me to take action again. Even with the troublesome maid out of the way, I see little chance of getting my old Belladonna back. If anything, she's worse now than ever before. But I have an idea, one that kept me awake all night. Oh, Jemini. I have come very far in my research by now. I can fairly predictably create living creatures that are stable enough to not spontaneously die again. This is consistent from many different species of animal. I have noticed something peculiar, though. They returned creation seems strangely vacant and sluggish. It is as if, although the body is brought back to life, the soul is forever lost. The creation is perfectly functional and responds to stimulus, just as if it was truly alive. But the mysterious spark of will seems to be missing. I know no other way to describe the phenomenon. Phenomenon ist ein großartiges Wort. Ich liebe dieses Wort. Dann musst du aufräumen, Alex, oder so. Ja, wenn man tatsächlich mal richtig aufräumt, das ist furchtbar. Du vermisst den Winter. Nein, ich will keinen Winter. Der Winter kann wegbleiben. This bothered me before, but now I cannot help to think that this might suit my needs. Isn't it precisely the strong will of my wife that is causing me all my problems? Oh mein Gott. There is no need to be poetic with flowers this time. I am in no short supply of lethal substances in the laboratory, and poison suits my needs well as it leaves no physical trauma on the body. I will still need to make incisions in the corpse to replace internal organs with clockwork parts, but stitching together surgical cuts is much simpler than trying to repair unhealed bodily damage. The integrity of her visage is a priority. Ich frage mich, ob wir ihn nicht umgebracht haben sogar. To extinguish Belladonna's current life, to give her a new one, to bring her body and mind back, minus soul and free will, a beautiful, obedient automaton, a mechanical doll with all the functionality of a woman, but who is responsive and does not what she's told. That, then, my dear future reader, would be truly something. Och, du Scheibenkleister. I think it is high time I tried to revivification process on a human subject. Weil echt seine... Oh mein Gott. Du bist so krank, Junge. Boah, das ganze Lesen macht mich dizzy.
This letter is signed Belladonna. I've been waiting to hear the other side of this
Das
story.
macht mich super dizzy. Holy shit. Oh, hallo Butz, guten Abend. Ich glaube, du hast ein bisschen zu viele Caps genutzt. Vielleicht bin ich auch unterzuckert gerade. Wir gucken mal. Nein! Das hier, ne? Okay. Es ist sehr anstrengend zu lesen. Ja, ich habe blaue Haare. Ich mach mal ganz kurz eine Pause vom Lesen. Ich hoffe, ihr nehmt mir das nicht allzu übel. Die Gamescom soll nach Hannover umziehen. Ist Hannover nicht sowieso Messestadt? Dankeschön, Butz. Und jetzt auch? Dann Directions! Wie... Das habe ich dir, glaube ich, schon mal gesagt, oder? Directions sind großartig.
How amazing is this?
Huch. Du bist Dankeschön für deinen Sub. Vielen, vielen, vielen Dank für den Support und ganz viel Spaß wünsche ich dir mit den Emotes. Dankeschön. Definitiv, Alex, definitiv. Oberst, wie geht es dir? Ich hoffe, es ist alles gut. Was? SSJ Blue, bitte was? Ja, Butz. So. Atlantic Blue. Fun Fact an der Stelle, aber ich habe nur ganz, ganz wenig Atlantic genommen und habe das dann gestreckt mit Spülung. Mir geht es wunderprächtig, das freut mich zu hören. Ich bin gerade ein bisschen dizzy, aber prinzipiell geht es mir auch ziemlich gut. Danke der Nachfrage. Nee, kein Orange für dich. Welche Farbe vorher? Ich war vorher blond. Kannst ja mal ins letzte VOD gucken. Und lediglich hatte ich noch ein paar Reste vom Rot drin, die man leider auch noch hier sieht, so ein bisschen, aber ansonsten, ja. Ja, ich glaube 10 Tagen, vor 10 Tagen waren sie pink und die haben sich dann rausgewaschen und dann waren sie halt wieder blond. Ich habe halt blonde Haare hier drunter. Ziemlich blond sogar. Nein, du klaust Himmel nicht die Rolle. Violett, Alice. Ja, es sind Tönungen. Butz, wenn du eine dauerhafte Haarfarbe willst, die wirklich nicht rausgeht. Also, holy shit, habe ich damit zu kämpfen. Die habe ich jetzt seit 1,5 Jahren noch in den Haaren drin sogar. Dann, hol dir... Warte. Okay, das ist jetzt nicht die Farbe, das ist das Return, was nicht funktioniert im Übrigen. Aber Goldwell, Illumin. Das Zeug ist bombenfest. Das Zeug sitzt wie blöde in den Haaren fest. Das ist richtig übel. Also, da habe ich tatsächlich noch in meinen Spitzen, in meinen Haaren drin rot. Seit 1,5 Jahren. Und ich habe mehrfach drüber blondiert. Es geht nicht raus. Das war fix, ja. Ich musste nur an den Schrank gerade. Was gemacht? Das Blondieren oder mir ist in die Farbe, in die Haare gemacht? Beides. Also ich blondiere mir die Haare normalerweise immer selbst. Aber da hat sogar eine Friseuse versucht, das rauszublondieren. Und ich meinte schon, ich habe Illumen in den Haaren. Und da kam von ihr schon so, okay, das könnte schwierig werden. Ja, die Farben wachsen raus. Ich merke das halt auch so. Aber ich habe jetzt bestimmt 4 oder 5 Mal schon blondiert. Und, nun. Ach, Krimmel, ja, let's go. Tatsächlich habe ich anderen Menschen sogar schon die Haare gefärbt und blondiert. Ich habe immer gesagt, ich mache das nicht, weil blondieren ist halt... Aber ja, das habe ich tatsächlich schon gemacht. Ja, beim Duschen gibt es definitiv blaues Wasser. So, was hat Belladonna geschrieben? If you had asked me just a few years ago about my future, I could never have fathomed my life today would be as it is. So strange a path as the twist of fate set me upon that I wake up every morning bewildered, and like a small child I expect anything and everything to happen during each new day. The night my planned future snapped out of joint and took the whole new direction was the night when my son Lucas died. Ja, deine Haare leben doch. Augenbrauen? Nee, um Gottes Willen nicht. Also theoretisch würde ich das machen, Butz. Praktisch ist es immer so eine Sache. Also, ich habe das bei 2 Leuten gemacht, die zu tönen und zu blondieren. Und das eine Tönen ging leider schief. Da musste ich dann auf eine andere Farbe ausweichen. Und ich bin halt keine gelernte Friseuse. Ich habe nur an mir selbst, was das Haare tönen und färben angeht, sehr viel rumexperimentiert. Ich kann nicht verstehen, Bella. Man denkt immer, man hat da in Blut gebadet. I married Dr. Wolfram from Trauerschloss in the spring, and we loved each other deeply back then. How young we were. He was an educated gentleman from the University of Ingolstadt, and I at first assumed we would get a flat in Vienna. Instead, he convinced me we should live in my family's old castle and accept our roles as old-fashioned nobility to the little village down the hill. We moved into the castle with a staff of 30 servants, beginning the task of breathing life and joy into the majestic halls. At this time I expected to live out my life as a lady of a household, minding the servants and, indeed, raising children. Before long, our first son was born, and shortly after that he once again departed. I was devastated, of course, but Lucas had been sickly from his first day, and even though my husband had blocked out the possibility from his mind, I was not entirely surprised when it happened. Nonetheless, it changed us. I believe Wolfram blames me for what happened, that he thinks it was somehow my fault. He retreated into his laboratory in the old dungeon, and started doing unholy experiments and God knows what. Those were dark times. Instead of a household and a child to take care of, I now had no guests, practically no husband and no child. Everything I thought would occupy my time was gone, and all I could do was grieve my solitude. The castle staff left one by one, until there were only a handful still here. My existence was meaningless, and I spent my days doing nothing. But I dealt with my grief in my own way. And in time, the claws of melancholy began loosening their grip on me. In so many ways, I have Clara to thank for that. Ah, sie ist so ja Clara, nicht Claire. Wie es ja bei mir aussieht, würdest du es auch gerne haben wollen. Das ist nicht so schwer, glaube ich sogar. Also das Problem ist halt, man braucht halt eine ordentliche Ausgangshaarfarbe. Und ich war halt sogar relativ hell, also meine Haare sind ziemlich hellblond, die gehen sogar schon fast ins Weiße rein hier runter. Aber halt mit rosanen Flecken drin, leider. Und das wird auch nicht allzu lange halten halt mit Directions. Das habe ich jetzt für ein paar Tage und dann ist es wahrscheinlich wieder raus. Und heller oder ich weiß auch nicht, oder bunt. To the backyard, grandfather clock.
It's an old clock. Tick, tock, tick.
Tick, tock, tick, tock. Global Illuminhafer, Purebell Blau. Könnte funktionieren. Ich habe, da würde ich dir mal empfehlen, guck dir mal auf YouTube Reviews an. Dass die Leute einen Ausgangshaarfarben haben und wie die Farbe danach aussieht. Ich habe halt nur mit dem RR et al., also das Rot, da habe ich Erfahrungen mitgemacht und das ist halt bombenfest.
It's an old clock.
To the living room, to the study, to the backyard. Okay, to the study. Oh Gott. In den x Jahren dann babyblaue Haare. In x Tagen. Ja, vielleicht. Weiß ich noch nicht.
A stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What a cheerful decoration. Let's call them Annabelle and Dupin.
Mehr
A
Namen.
stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What? That's a lot of books. Imagine you had books filled with every possible combination of letters. I wonder how much room they would take. There's a finite amount of letters, but unless we acknowledge a maximum length of a word, there would still be an infinite number of combinations, and the library would have to be infinitely large. Another portrait. It says her name is Franziska Canossa, an old relative, no doubt. But I wonder how she relates to the von Trauerschloss family. Another portrait. An old.
Okay.
I should sit down and write a story. But with all these journals and diary pages lying around, seems like I already may have.
Wow, Bella. Ja, offensichtlich hat sie ein aufziehbares Gehirn. Normalerweise kennt man es von Puppen ja, dass die das hinten im Rücken haben, ne?
The doctor's handwriting. I know it well by now.
Ja, gut. Months has passed, and must indeed conclude that the procedure was a success. The new Belladonna is certainly calmer, friendlier, and more docile. She gladly keeps me company in the laboratory nowadays, and she's polite and pleasant in everything she does. Oh God. One is tempted to describe her demeanor as lobotomized, but no, when I ask her questions, she will answer in a clear and articulate voice. Also ist wir hier sogar. And she's responsive to all kinds of stimuli. Verily, I have gotten all I could ask for. The troublesome maid is gone, and Belladonna is back with me, compliant as ever. Her behavior is exemplary. Our lives are returning to that idyllic past I had thought lost in all aspects except one. No child giggles in these halls. But my research is proceeding rapidly, and the question presents itself: who needs a womb to create life? Ooh. I have made an unexpected observation, a side effect to the unliving condition. The household cat, a black beast and once Belladonna's loving pet, has gained a great mistrust for the latter's new form. Its quiet has fallen over the animal, and he will not go near the creation. Why is this, I wonder? Why this lack of trust, this sudden and ferocious hatred? Belladonna's appearance seems to me not much unlike what the cat before so fondly gravitated towards. But evidently the beast perceives the difference. As a species, the cat has popularly been associated with witchcraft and mysticism. Their eyes do indeed strike one as remarkable. Is it perchance so that the feline oculus is capable of peering to a human soul and spirit, and so, one faced with the created Belladonna, is distressed by the lack thereof? Boah, es ist gar nicht mehr so viel. Katzen sind schlau, sieht man mal wieder.
Look, a perfect sphere.
Aber er hat echt seine Frau umgebracht.
Parallel lines to intersect. Look,
Kranke Scheiße. Wow!
I'm not going near that horrible cat.
Katze!
I'll have to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed.
Okay.
Interesting, but no. I'm not going near that horrible cat.
Kio, schlaf gut. Danke, dass du da warst. Ich wünsche dir einen schönen Abend. Da komme ich auch nicht ran, okay.
Look at all these old toys. Wind-up dolls, music boxes, and mechanical trains all around. I think this used to be a private hobby of the eccentric Dr. Wolfram's, before he got into the whole corpse business. Look at all these old toys.
Okay. Wir haben ja noch ein paar Sachen. Die Katze hat aber einen langen Schwanz. Oh Gott. Das Blut.
This room looks completely abandoned. I suppose this is what happens when you're down to a skeleton crew of only one maid, no matter how fantastic she is. It's snowing outside. I have no concept of the current year, season, or even geographical location.
Okay.
Another journal page. This one has drops of blood on it.
Belladonna must think, remember. Hands, fingers, write words. Hate. Möchte mir das Spiel damit sagen? Ah ja, hier läuft ja immer noch ein Mörder frei rum. Ich frage mich ja immer noch, wie das nicht vielleicht sogar waren.
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold, Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Joseph. In that order.
Das kann ich mir nicht merken.
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold, Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Joseph. In that order.
Feier ich. Bin ich ganz ehrlich, aber ich kann mir das nicht merken.
There's a bottle of milk out here. I wonder how long it's been here. At any rate, it's frozen completely solid. No
Ja,
wonder
wir
in
nehmen es
this
trotzdem mit. Nimm mit. Gut, danke.
One more Belladonna letter. Let's read about this Clara figure.
Was macht die Arme, wenn der Aufziehschlüssel an sich nicht mehr dreht? Dann kippen wir wahrscheinlich einfach weg. Und die Bella ist voller Hass, das will das Spiel sagen. Ja gut, kann ich verstehen, bin ich ganz ehrlich. Clara Steva was one of the several chambermaids we hired when we moved into the castle shortly after the marriage. In the warm light of recent events, I feel as though I could pick her out of a crowd already at this time. But I suspect the truth is that she was just another servant, one of many, and I didn't pay her close to the attention I know she deserves. The time following the death of Lucas is hazy and unclear in my memory. I know I spent most of my time in an armchair in the living room, staring out of the window. I know now that this must have been a difficult time for the staff as well. My apathy left them without purpose. As more and more of the household was shut down, soon the cooks and stable grooms began abandoning what they busily identified as a sinking ship. As more and more of the staff left the castle to seek employment elsewhere, there was less and less reason for the rest to stay, and the household was quickly decimated. But throughout all of this, young Clara never left my side, and she gradually shouldered more of her household's responsibilities, making it her task to take care of me and nurse me through my melancholy. It was her loyalty and industriousness when everyone else left that finally brought me back from my condition. Genau das hätte übrigens ihr Mann auch machen müssen. Sich einfach um sie kümmern müssen, anstatt sich in seinem Labor einzusperren. Das ist gleich Alex. And indeed, her love. As I now sit down to write, it has been a long, unbroken chain of happy days. Clara and I have the whole castle practically to ourselves, and nothing to do but enjoy our lives and each other. We sleep in a new room every night, cook our own food and have picnics under tables or in front of a fireplace. We have no incentive whatsoever to uphold convention or norms when this house has become like a secure pocket inside the rest of reality. In truth, this touches on what I treasure most as Clara. Neither of us reap any concrete benefits from our union, neither financial nor societal. There is no ambit purpose of producing heirs. Our relationship exists solely for itself and its own reward. I'm already adopting her adorable habit of naming inanimated objects. Was mich darauf wieder schließen lässt, dass wir, die Frau Belladonna gerade sind. Also, das haben wir geschrieben quasi. The castle is not quite ours, however. Wolfram still lurks like a ghoul downstairs and occasionally emerges and spends the night up here with me. We have little in common anymore. In fact, he's like a completely new person. His mind is vacant, his stare distant, he's thinner than ever before and shivers with cold. Clara jokingly suggested, well, we might have him declared mad and sent off to an institution. An innocent idea in her mind, but with some planning, this act might eventually prove to be our surest path to finally reclaiming this old castle for us alone. Das hätten sie halt echt machen sollen. Das wäre das Beste gewesen, den wegzuschicken. Aber gut.
This must be the family cemetery. Yet, baby Lucas rests in an urn in the dining room. Why is that?
Keine Ahnung.
This must be the family cemetery. It says Snowflake the pet cat. How cute. It says the stone is so old and the name is worn off. The stone is so old and the name is worn off. The tombstone says Clara Stieber. This must be the grave of the wonderful maid I've heard so much about.
Okay.
But notice that it's been emptied. The tombstone says Clara Stieber. This must be the
Ist
grave.
Clara vielleicht auch wieder zum Leben erweckt worden?
A note.
Und sie hat sich jetzt gerecht am Doktor. Oh, Junge, oh, Junge. Great God, why did I not then expire? Why am I here to relate the destruction of a vast hope and purest creature of Earth? It was mere days ago, at the peak of our bliss, when Clara fell ill. She complained of headaches and tiredness, so I made a bed for her and laid her down to rest. For the next days, I cared for my companion just as she had cared for me, and nursed her with all my love and compassion. We believed it was just a passing sickness and that it would be over shortly. Each morning we thought she was getting better, and each evening we realized she had actually gotten worse. Oh nein. Aber gut, wir wissen's ja. And today, when I entered her bedroom, she was there, lifeless and inanimate, thrown across the bed, her head hanging down, and her pale and deserted features half covered by her hair. In horror I beheld the body of Clara, my love, so lately living, so dear, so worthy. I rushed towards her and embraced her with ardor, but the death languor and coldness of her limbs told me that, with her now held in my arms, had ceased to be Clara whom I had loved and cherished. Alas! What full curse lies in my gentle touch? I have lost my only child to the darkness, my husband to devouring madness, and now my lover has departed this world as well. My love truly as poisonous as my ominous name? Oh nein. Ich glaube, wir sind die Frau von ihm, Alex. WW übrigens.
What a marvelous mausoleum. The plaque says Francisca Canosa. This must be the resting place of the lady from the portrait in the study. 2 statues of angels. It seems a bit paradoxical to create statues depicting something that's supposed to be immaterial. Let's call them Justifer and Phi.
Alles im Haus hat einen Namen. Ey, das gibt es gar nicht. Oh! Das ist voll hübsch.
Yes, those are indeed boxes.
Ich weiß übrigens, wie es weitergeht. Ich denke, wir müssen die Milch nehmen, gehen zum Fireplace und müssen sie dann erwärmen. Dann kommt die halt hier in diese Bowl und damit kriegen wir die Katze weg. Nehme ich einfach mal an.
Yes, those are indeed. More letters. Can someone tell me what happened to poor Clara?
Wir werfen die Katze mit der Flasche und bam, Problem solved. Nein! Wir werfen die Katze nicht mit der Flasche. Some time has passed since the demise of Clara. As I calm down and regain control over my emotions, it occurs to me that there are some mysterious circumstances concerning her death. The sickness that came over her was swift and sudden indeed. Admittedly, my own medical knowledge is limited, but it still seems to me that such an instant and terminal change in the body Die Schrift ist sehr anstrengend zu lesen. Bodily humors should not occur naturally. Could it be that she somehow ingested something that made her sick? But what? And from that line of thought, it is not as far leap to ponder if she was murdered. It was long ago that I lost track of the details of my husband's deranged research, But I do know that he handles lethal substances and obscure chemicals. How easy it would have been for him to slip something into Clara's food. So then, why would he do such a thing? Did he know about our affair? We were very careful, but perchance he guessed it, despite our efforts. He would not go so far as murder-based safety. Solely, ich weiß nicht. And I guess, would he? Doch, oh my god. The distressing truth is, I no longer have any way of telling what Wolfram is capable of. It is of vital importance that these notes never reach any eyes but my own. These are grave accusations. I am scribbling down in ways of proof I do not even have anywhere to start looking. And yet, the possibility is there, gloating in its simplicity. Nein, Kleiner, das würde ich auch nicht tun an deiner Stelle. Hallo Chrissy, guten Abend. Ich hoffe, es geht dir gut. Das ist nicht mehr viel, Leute. Aber ja, ich wusste ja, das Spiel ist nicht lang.
A plant, a natural object, standing in a pot, a man-made object. The plant can consume nutrition and grow bigger, and the pot can't. Neither of them can think. So what about me then? I can think, I know that. But am I natural or man-made?
Ein bisschen auf beidem, nehme ich an, meine liebe Belladonna.
A plant, a natural object, standing in a pot. This lantern might prove to be the very first thing that actually manages to shed some light on my situation. I'll keep it. Nothing inside.
Oh.
Belladonna. This little plant has caused a lot of trouble. For a flower, it's not particularly beautiful, but for a murder weapon, it sure is.
Und da haben wir es mitgenommen. Mehr Blumis? Nee,
It's a large
Bäumchen.
tree. Looks very peaceful. Couldn't I have been reincarnated into one of those instead of being forced back into this mess?
Okay.
Look,
Journal
the
page.
journal page was hiding behind the plant.
How could this happen to me? Nein. Mir geht's gut, Chrissy. Danke der Nachfrage. Did Wolfram murder poor Clara? Or did he not? My situation has reached a point where it hardly makes any difference. I still cannot prove anything. When my conviction of his sin is only growing stronger. I cannot look at his face without seeing a murderer, nor not listen to his voice without hearing the words of an evil man. And the coward knows it. He sees the judgment in my eyes, and he shrinks away from it like the rodent he is. Guilty or not, he could not act more like a culprit if he so confessed his crime in the town square. If he was hiding in his laboratory before, now he practically lives there. We both realized that he lacks of the courage to meet my gaze, and after that he simply stopped coming back upstairs. Ey, warum haut sie denn nicht einfach ab? Warum verlässt sie nicht einfach das Schloss? Ich weiß, es gehört ihrer Familie, aber dann, you know? The villain, the fiend. He can rot away in his dungeon, forgotten by the world. His remaining days spent in darkness and solitude, I will not forgive him. He could. How could I, when he has provided me with nothing but misery since the day we met? The living areas of his castle are mine now, and if my husband is incapable of even confronting me, he shall have no benefit from them. Curse my miserable existence. Ich hätte ihn einfach rausgeworfen. Polizei und go. You know, so.
A plant, a natural object, standing in a pot, a man-made.
Ich habe eventuell ein paar Ideen. Und zwar, wir haben ja jetzt die Pflanze und vielleicht können wir mit Mörser und Dings da was draus machen. Wir gucken mal. Ja, du liegst da ganz schön, Junge. Also zum einen das hier.
I'll let it stand by the fire for a while. It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is.
No. Dann das hier und das hier.
Let's grind this plant into powder.
Okay, Belladonna Powder. Und jetzt?
It's thawed. The milk is now in liquid form. The milk pours easily.
Nun. Das war einfach. Ja, es ist halt echt Krimmel. Ich feiere das halt auch so mini bisschen. Wow.
I'm not going near that horrible cat. I'll have to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed.
Ja, ja. Da.
Okay, so I can give delicious milk to my fearsome adversary, but why would I want to do that? This creature has nothing but scorn for me. It would just take my milk and keep attacking me afterwards.
Oh nein.
Is this how Clara died? Yes, this should put an end to the grim reign of this beast.
Oh nein.
Look, it's a key, and it has a funny tassel attached to it.
Na, ganz
No
toll.
wonder the cat wanted to play with it. The animal must have managed to steal the key somehow.
Wir sind Mörder.
Thaw the milk, grind the leaves, poison the cat. That was a lot of work to inspect this rather uninteresting ladder. This is strange. This is Belladonna's signature, but the handwriting is just wrong.
Das könnte er. Peter! Ja, die arme Katze. Hätte ich mal die Flasche geworfen. Okay. How right, you exercise my brain.
There were so many heroes.
Eriko! Dankeschön für deinen Resub im 3. Monat. Dankeschön für den anhaltenden Support. Wie geht's dir, liebe Rein? I find that my thoughts becomes more firm and solid if I force myself to put them down on paper. It doesn't matter what I write as long as I can learn to think again and to remember. I must try and remember. I have no idea how long I've been this way. A walking corpse, a mimicry of human life, an Unmensch. Ich weiß auch, Eton, pst. Ein bisschen zu warm wie die letzten Tage, oh. Aber hier ist kalt, möchtest du herkommen? As is all the doings of my despicable husband. He could not be happier than the lane. He got what he wanted. An obedient wife. A beautiful gala irgendwas? Galatier? That exists solely for his pleasure. If he only knew. These notes are the center of my universe, and I keep them well hidden. He doesn't know. He has no idea. The thought does not occur to him that I might be thinking being, and I intend to keep it that way. I am slowly and secretly, meticulously pulling my consciousness out of a black void. At first I truly was a mechanical toy, responsive but never proactive. But gradually, I began to regain capacity for thought. Oh God, how amazing is this? Mama Noah, Dankeschön für deinen Sub. Vielen, vielen, vielen Dank für den Support und ich wünsche dir ganz, ganz viel Spaß mit den Emotes. Dankeschön. Ach, bei dir ist es auch kühl, okay. Mir ist einfach nur kalt, ich brauche warm. Aber naja. Okay, ich finde das sehr interessant, in was für eine Richtung sich das gerade entwickelt. Chrissy, danke, dass du Miss V einen Sub schenkst. Vielen, vielen, vielen Dank für den Support. Galotier, name given in the ancient century to the animal statue sculpted by Pygmalion. Das klingt plausibel, okay. Ich kann endlich wieder subscriben. Ah, dankeschön, Bambano. Wie geht's dir? Einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Okay. And I quickly realized that I need to keep it a secret. These thoughts were now the only things in the world that truly belonged to me. Beginning to think again was horrible, in many ways, even worse than the state of blissful ignorance from which I had just emerged. I only managed to scribble down single disconnected words at a time, more emotions than thoughts, impulses perhaps. My hands and fingers were stiff and clumsy. I remember cutting myself on the sharp pens once, not being able to prevent the blood flow. I thought that would be the end for me. Surely Wolfram would notice the blood on my hands and get suspicious, but no, the self-absorbed fool merely stitched me up and let me go. I sometimes play with the idea that I would have to do to prove to him that I am a person, but I won't. The monster has other plans. Oh Gott! Er hat sie wahrscheinlich umgebracht, wieder zum Leben erweckt und sie fängt wieder an zu denken und zu fühlen und oh Gott.
The door is locked.
Das ist awful. Nein. Ist leicht angeschlagen, die Wetterumstellung macht dich fertig. Das kann ich verstehen. Es ist echt furchtbar, dieses Hin und Her jetzt. Dass es jetzt halt wieder super kalt wird und davor so warm. Mir geht's an sich ganz gut, ich danke dir. Okay, Journal Page. We're getting close to the end, I guess. Ich denke halt echt, vielleicht haben wir ihn selber umgebracht. Oder wir haben unsere geliebte Clara aus dem Grab geholt. Ah, ich weiß nicht. Oh, okay. As my consciousness grows stronger, so does my hatred for my husband. Each morning he brings me with him down to the laboratory and places me in the corner. There I will stand for the rest of the day, still as a statue, silent as death. Occasionally he will throw at me a glance or a smile. I find my body smiling warmly back, and almost like a reflex, and this indoctrination disgusts me. I am a living decoration, a breathing statue of flesh, his wind-up toy bride, but little does he suspect my eyes are darting across the room, secretly and attentively following his smallest movements. I carefully memorize every step he takes, every note he writes down, every tiny detail of his ghoulish discovery. If only he knew how fast I am learning, what a willing student I am. As of late, he has even picked up the habit of explaining his scientific work aloud. It helps him think, I suppose, and I nod and smile and give little encouraging laughs at all the right places. He is muttering his darkest secrets to me, and I drink it all up. And oh, if only he knew just how close he brushes with his own demise. Hundreds of times each day he is close enough to me for my hands to reach up and snap his neck, my strong fingers around his throat, slowly squeezing his precious life out of him. Oh God. But no matter how close he stands, my arm will not move. I am a prisoner in my own corpse, starting out through glassy eyes, but unable to will any action into my own dead limbs. Call for me and I will walk. Ask me a question and I will talk, but my rotting brain is unable to form initiatives of its own. I am a golem following orders. Yet, with each passing night, my willpower grows stronger. I write my thoughts down diligently and practice my mental capacities with all the resolve I have. The results are slow but reliable. One day soon, I will have the tenacity to strike, and as soon as the time comes, strike I will. One of these days, his lovely life-sized doll will suddenly find the power within within her to execute her swift revenge. Ich muss aber auch sagen, würde das jemand mit mir machen, ich würde auch versuchen, Rache zu schinden, zu dingsen, weißt du? Also, ich glaube übrigens, dass das hier... Ja, das waren ihre ersten Versuche zu schreiben. Eieiei. Und da hat sie sich... Jetzt erklärt es auch, warum das so blutig ist, weil sie sich geschnitten hat. Weil sie das alles noch gar nicht so wirklich kann wieder. Das ist heavy. Nein, ein broken mirror.
That's a big wardrobe. I bet you could hide a corpse in there. Actually, I better not open it and check. That's a big wardrobe. Let's take a look inside.
Der Schlüssel an...
Coils of rope. I wonder why we're keeping rope in the bedroom.
Oh Gott, ich will's gar nicht
The
wissen.
mirror is completely shattered. I think someone in here didn't really like their reflection. The mirror is
Bevor wir das machen, geht's hier noch weiter.
Is she dead? She doesn't move a muscle, yet she sits upright. She's like a mannequin of human flesh.
Ist das...
A note.
Failure. The attempt was a failure. I could not lure my lost lover back into her deceased corpse. All my preparations in vain. Alone now. I want to turn my key. Ist das vielleicht Dings?
At least the view is nice from up here.
Oh mein Gott, okay, wir machen jetzt auf jeden Fall.
I wonder if this key fits.
Oh mein
There's
Gott.
a key hidden inside. A very important one.
Oder ist das Belladonna und wir sind... Vielleicht sind wir Clara.
Interesting, but no.
Oh mein Gott. Ihre Augen sind leer. Was?
Clara, it really is you. I was so certain I'd never see you again. You didn't wake up.
I woke up. I've been wandering lost ever since, trying to find out what's going on.
How are you feeling? Do you remember me?
I have no memories of you, or of myself. But I found some notes lying around. I can only assume you're the one called Belladonna?
I am Belladonna, murdered and reanimated by Dr. von Trauerschloss. At first a mindless mechanical doll, but I slowly regained control over my brain. And when the time was right, I broke free.
I saw the doctor's body.
Yes, I crushed his skull. Standing over his blood-soaked remains, I was free at last.
But where did I come from? If he was dead, was it you who brought me back?
Yes, my
Yep.
love. You were the only thing on my mind as I stood there, alone and victorious. I had secretly watched the doctor's process, and I desperately wanted to believe that I could get you back. I unearthed your grave and carried your dead body down to the laboratory. I did everything right, to the smallest detail, but you didn't wake up. And my time was running out. I can't turn my own key, and now that I was alone in the castle, I knew my life force
Das hatten wir ja gerade schon.
But for all my effort, you remained dead, and with no one to keep me vital, I eventually sat down here and just stopped.
But I did wake up.
Yes, apparently you did. Your body had been in the ground for quite some time. Perhaps that made the reanimation process slower, but with your key powering your brain directly, you did not have to go through the drawn-out, sluggish wake-up. I take it your cognitive powers and language have been with you from the start.
Well, yes.
Excellent. Then I have even improved on the doctor's method, but I doubt independent thinking and free will was ever in his interest to reproduce.
Do you think you could do it again?
Create more of us, you mean? Yes, I hold the secret of life and death, and I plan to use it. The experimentations must continue.
And the two of us will have no place in this world.
Quite right. So, we'll make us a place. Dead bodies will never be in short supply. We'll make more of our kind. A whole new race of the
Das
damned.
ist so krank.
Where do we start?
I know for a fact that there's a fresh body lying out there in the Great Hall.
The doctor.
His flesh, at least. We won't be using his wretched brain. I've already destroyed it in any case. But the body will do. We will have to find a few other ingredients. Will you help me?
Of course I will.
Thank you, my love. I'll carry the body down to the laboratory and start with the preparations. And in the meantime, you can help me with a few other things. The doctor's brain is completely destroyed. I made sure of that. I don't think any of us want his villainous brain back amongst us. We're going to need to find a new one. Secondly, we will also need some clockwork parts. We have to manufacture a force to keep the dead body going. Thirdly, not only the brain, but also the head and the cranium were damaged. If we can find a new head, that would save a lot of the reconstructing effort.
I saw a brain preserved in alcohol down in the laboratory.
Oh, you did? That's good. That, my dear, is the brain of baby Lucas.
Your son?
Lucas was never buried. The doctor had the body cremated very quickly and thus incinerated all the evidence that the corpse was not complete. He'd stolen the brain and kept it for himself. I don't know what he claimed about not planning on resurrecting his child, but the truth is that he kept the brain all the same.
Okay, I'll try to get my hands on the brain.
Thank you.
She's crazy. Und wenn ich sagen muss, sie ist eh schon tot. Oder halbtot. Da kann ich schon verstehen, dass sie jetzt einfach das Leben haben möchte oder sich ein Leben aufbauen möchte. Ein Leben, was sie sonst vorher nie gehabt hat. Wisst ihr, wie ich meine?
Clockwork?
Yes, we need something to supply the body with the force to move. We can't make
Da ist eine Uhr in der Halle.
so we use the spring-loaded clockwork. In the future, we'll have to think of a source of parts more reliable than salvaging old-time pieces, but that'll do for now.
I see.
Thank you.
Will we need to find a fresh human head?
Yes, I've smashed up the head of Wolfram rather frivolously. I'm afraid it's beyond rescue. I was thinking of my grandmother, Francesca Canosa.
Oh je.
I'm sure you've seen her portrait in the study. She was buried some time ago, but her cranium should be sufficiently preserved. She rests in the mausoleum in the cemetery outside, but there is a hidden way into the tomb behind the armor in the basement.
Was it Francesca's portrait I saw in the study?
Yes, Francesca Canosa was my grandmother. My family moved to this country several generations ago. My father, named Hugo, gave me the name Belladonna to allude to our ancestry. I was the last of the Canosas, and I acquired the name von Trauerschloss through marriage. And now, well, now I'm not very concerned with human family names. We will not
Kranke
reproduce
Scheiße
in
einfach nur.
adopted
Hier
kind
kommt zurück,
then,
Maxi.
so what use will we have of family names?
I'll go take a look behind the suit of armor.
Thank you.
Some things have been puzzling me.
Alles klar, Bella, bis gleich. Zumindest sind die Aufzieh-Zombies leicht außer Gefecht zu setzen. Klau ihnen einfach den Schlüssel.
Did I used to have hair?
You had beautiful hair. Unfortunately, I had to shave it all off in order to operate on your head and open your cranium.
Will it grow back?
I don't rightly know. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
I want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
What is this I'm wearing?
I'm so sorry about that. I covered you in scraps and bandages I found in the laboratory. I had to cut open and discard most of what you were buried in order to stitch you up. I want you to know that my plan was to be right next to you when you woke up, to help you understand and to find a proper dress.
Ja,
I'm so
Eve,
sorry
ja.
I didn't act like that.
Chris, danke schön für deinen Host. Vielen, vielen Dank.
On my way in here, I killed a cat. It was in my way and it felt so natural to just dispose of it.
Stimmt, das sind keine Zombies, das sind Aufziehmenschis. Das sind Puppen, mehr oder
I might
weniger.
have a functional brain, but what about a soul? Shouldn't there be something in me stopping me from hurting others? Or at least making me feel bad about it?
You're right. It did come very natural for me to murder my husband. But I'm not too worried about this. I have no desire to commit unnecessary killings, and I do have control over my actions.
Ich hoffe, du hattest trotzdem einen schönen Stream, Chris. Was hast du gespielt?
What if you're raising an army of cold-hearted mass murderers?
They won't be mass murderers any more than you and I. And besides, why should we prioritize the lives of the living above the lives of the dead?
I want
Sie
to
recht
ask
hat?
something else.
I'm here for you.
On my way in here, I killed a cat. It was in my way and it felt so natural to just dispose of it. It worries me a bit.
How so?
I may have a functional brain, but what about a soul? Shouldn't there be something in me stopping me from hurting others? Or at least making me feel bad about it?
You're right. It did come very natural for me to murder my husband. But I'm not too worried about this. I have no desire to commit unnecessary killings, and I do have control over my actions.
Ja, es gab technische Probleme mit Girogax. Ich wollte es unbedingt spielen, aber ich hatte die ganze Zeit Frame Drops, also es ist die ganze Zeit, FPS sind die ganze Zeit rumgesprungen und so war es leider nicht spielbar. Ich bin jetzt am Überlegen, ob wir irgendwann die PS4-Version davon spielen und dann spielen wir es nochmal richtig. Aber die PC-Version funktioniert bei mir halt leider nicht.
I want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
Why did you put this wind-up mechanism in my head? Yours is in your back.
Yes, the damned doctor had placed my wind-up mechanism in my back. It goes straight into my chest and heart, giving me a strong central of power. But it is placed outside my own reach.
So,
Ja, das
can't
wissen wir
turn
ja
it
schon.
yourself?
No, I can't. I have to depend on others. That's why I chose to put the key in the back of your head, well within reach of your own hands. I know what it means to not be in control of your own existence, and I will never put someone else in the situation.
Oh. Die ist irgendwie, also sie ist schon, also sie ist eigentlich eine gute.
Of course,
I wanna.
I'm here for you.
I'll be there for you. Ich glaube, wir sind durch.
I'll start looking for the objects then.
Thank you. Come talk to me if there's something you're unsure about.
Okay. Let's go. Also als allererstes. Es fehlt uns übrigens noch einer. Ja, gut, es schwingt was Dunkles mit, definitiv. Aber sie ist. Ich glaube, sie ist nicht so insane wie der Doktor, weißt du? Sie hat ihn umgebracht, weil er sie. Ja, aus Rache. Er hat sie suffern lassen und ihr das Leben zur Hölle gemacht. Und das kann ich
I see a lot
irgendwo
of mechanical parts
verstehen.
in there. I need to get them out somehow.
Haben wir noch irgendwas? Nein, da. Kaputt hauen.
That won't work.
Oh, okay, dann haben wir noch eins.
Interesting, but no.
Nein, ihr habt einen Screwdriver.
This faithful screwdriver will do the trick.
Können
We'll turn this
Exile.
old clock into a slightly peculiar wardrobe.
Ich habe von Conan Exile noch nie gar nichts gesehen, tatsächlich. Das Spiel ist richtig cool.
It's my peculiar.
Also es ist viel zu lesen und zu reden, aber es ist echt interessant gemacht, finde ich. Und eigentlich dachte ich, es würde nur eine Stunde gehen. Ich wurde angelogen im Internet. Ja, sie will eine Puppenarmee. Ja, leiden. Ja. Brauchen...
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss.
Okay. Ja, to the basement. Wir brauchen einen Kopf. Und ein Gehirn. Das ist beides im Basement. Und dann haben wir auch schon alle Sachen, die wir brauchen. Ach, das ist so schön abgefuckt. Ich mag so abgefuckte Sachen, ja, ne? Also da bin ich ja... Da müssen wir gleich. Aber wir gehen jetzt erstmal hier rein. Und... Das da, nämlich.
The body of a deranged murderer, the decomposed head of an old lady, the brain of a small child. How could this possibly go wrong? I'll call it Uric.
Okay.
Human skull.
Ich finde ja, wer tot ist, soll tot bleiben. Dem habe ich nichts
Belladonna
entgegenzusetzen.
was right. There is a secret
Sehe ich
switch behind
genauso.
the poet.
Okay, let's go.
It's too dark down there. I won't see my hands in front of me unless I light the crypt up first.
Hm.
I can't just drop the lantern into the hole. It's gonna break when it hits the bottom. I'll just tie this rope to the lantern. Yes.
Jetzt aber.
I can lower the lantern into the hole.
Okay.
Amazing. I must be directly underneath the mausoleum in the cemetery.
Colin schlägt in dieselbe Kerbe wie Ark, also eine Art Survival Sandbox, aber ohne Dinos. Wenn ich schon höre, dass ihr einen Kopf und ein Gehirn braucht, klingt nach Tim Burton. What? Ist kein Kram, das kann ich gar nicht sagen. Die letzte Journal-Page.
I can't believe it. It's another letter. How did it end up down here?
Ich will's nicht wissen, ich will's nicht lesen. Aber wenn man bei Conan keine Dinos hat, was macht man denn dann? Okay. Clara Stever. Das ist also von ihrer... Ne, das ist von uns. After insistence probing from my lady Belladonna, I too take the pen come evening. The screaming does not come as readily for me as it does for her yet. I do most certainly see the appeal of the activity. So much has happened in my life of late, my brain is overflowing with joy in secrets and disorder. And if I manage to write down a map but a fraction of it all, that would be an enormous relief. Verily, it all centers around Belladonna, this queen, regnant of a castle, was turned her benevolent face towards me, and thus filled my person with happiness. I had previously thought unimaginable. I still remember the first time I saw her standing next to her husband, when I took up my work in the household, and I remember how she seemed to me to glow. The two of them lost a child shortly after that, and the tragedy would linger in the castle for a long time. All the other servants started to leave one by one, but as much as I wanted to, I found myself unable. I kept postponing my departure with each new day, and I found myself dancing around Belladonna's flame, drawn to it as strongly as I had been from the first glance. Entschuldigung. Wie kann's like better? By the time she finally recovered from her melancholy, I was the only one left in the castle, and it was at this time the miracle happened. Belladonna saw me in a new way. This tempestuous affair, galloping in and world shaking, and yet so quiet, so hidden. The castle is ours to rule as we please, but only as long as we do not arouse the suspicion suspicion of a grave robbing goblin in the basement. It is as I have stepped into one of the fairy stories my grandmother used to tell. Her Nana's stories always ended with someone losing their head and being eaten alive. Though seemingly everlasting, this bliss of ours, a seed of doubt is growing in my heart. Belladonna is married, after all, and who am I to break the wedlock? Theirs is not a happy union, true, but I am seducing my love to break her vows and soulless soul, and what wretched ruin that will bring upon us. For a long while Belladonna was all I dreamed about, my queen and goddess, and my deepest wish was for her to let me into her life and let me worship her. I thought I would give up anything for that, but now that I am here I wonder if I have sacrificed too much. Belladonna comes from high society, and she doesn't realize just how much she takes for granted. It's still clear who is the lady and who's the servant. Can I keep on living like this, or will I have to do the unthinkable and leave her? I made Belladonna promise not to read anything I wrote, and looking at what I have just put down in the ink, the weight and of that promise is clear. I have forged into words thoughts I did not know I had, and it is vital that these pages remain secluded from prying eyes. Secrets upon secrets, I shall hide this letter inside the old armor in the basement, whom I called Ronald, the Bard, where I doubt anyone will find it. I'm descending into that dungeon as soon as I'm done here, and I'll hide this note on my way, as the master has asked me to fetch for him a certain plant from the greenhouse. As strange as this whole situation is, I must still obey his request, if only to keep up appearances. Okay, das ist aber eigentlich nichts, was wir noch nicht wussten, um ehrlich zu sein. Also uns war schon klar, dass... Also das war jetzt... Ja, nichts, was wir nicht wussten. Kann ich gar nicht verstehen, Bella. Oh Gott.
Here's Francisca's coffin, but the lid is much too heavy for me to lift. Maybe I could break it open, but I'll need some sort of big hammer or mace for that.
Wir haben doch noch das hier.
The things one does for love. You look very peaceful, but I do so need your head. How shall I remove it? With some surgical tool from the laboratory, perhaps? That won't work.
Okay. Wir suchen uns...
Looks like Belladonna's dragged the body down to the laboratory already.
Boah, ich dachte mir gerade schon. Mhm. Nun.
Don't you worry, little pile of flesh and bones.
Nun.
We'll soon have you up and walking again.
Welcome to the Lab of Horrors.
I haven't gotten hold of a human head yet.
But you did manage to get into the crypt. If you are having trouble separating the head from the neck, I'm sure you can find some sort of instrument for precisely...
Oh Gott, ich will nicht.
I took some parts from the old clock.
Well done. Let me put them into the creation.
I have the brain.
Well done. Please give it to me.
I found something else in the crypt. Another note. One I'd written myself when I was alive. I think we need to talk.
What is the matter, dear?
It's just... forget it. It doesn't matter. Let's focus on what we're doing here.
Yes, let's get this creation moving.
I'll get going.
Okay, wo kriegen wir jetzt eine Säge oder irgendwas dergleichen her? Die war ja empty.
The toolbox is empty.
Ja. Hm.
It looks like the legs of a frog hooked up with wire.
Warte mal. Ist das eine Ader?
Ooh, surgical tools. Shiny.
Ja, es ist ja auch sehr Frankenstein. Also, ich glaube, das ist Absicht. So ein mini bisschen. Und oh Gott, es tut mir leid.
Now to carefully remove the head. It's remarkably well preserved. I'm so sorry.
Nun, irgendwie sieht der Kopf doch ein bisschen anders aus als gerade.
Another angel. Are you the third sibling? What did you do to get put down here? Is your name Gwendolyn?
Ist halt wirklich so ein Typ. Wenn dem sein Kopf nicht angeschraubt ist, vergisst er ihn. Na, ganz großes Kino. Der kopflose Wissenschaftler. Ist das ein Verwandter vom kopflosen Reiter? Ich hoffe nicht. Oh Gott, ich gehe auch gar nicht hoch und gucke, wo der Kopf von ihm geblieben ist. Das ist die Großmutter von ihr hier, Bella.
I'll let Belladonna handle that.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. The creation is complete. All we need to do now is force life into these dead limbs. That big switch on the wall initiates the procedure. Will you have the honor, my dear?
Gladly.
Oh oh.
The time has come. I've wanted to pull this thing since the first time I saw it.
Genau, Marc, ganz genau.
It's alive.
Ja, so klingt es auch. The end! Nun. Das war Belladonna.